All right. Let's get to it. All right. First up, we've got Turbo versus Tether on a sell, and we're targeting 0.001319. Turbo. It's a 30-minute confirmation. Got a risk of 4.11. Our entry's at 1697. Our stop is at 1789. And our take profit is at 1319. All right. Here's our first call. First for LinkedIn. And for Twitter. And for everyone else. We've got Turbo versus Tether, 30-minute sell. The entry price is 0.001697. Your stop loss is going to be 0.001789 for 92 pips. Your take profit is going to be 0.001319 for 378 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 4.11. Again, that's Turbo versus Tether. Next up, we've got Soft versus Tether. It's going to be another sell. This is targeting 0.01590. You're short from current price. This time is a 15-minute confirmation. The risk is going to be 6.43. We have an entry at 1783. We have stop at 1813. We've got take profit at 15.90. Here's the next call. And we have soft versus tether. It's a 15-minute sell. Your entry price is 0.01783. Stop loss is 0.01813 for 30 pips. Your take profit is 0.01590 for 193 pips. The risk reward ratio is 6.43. Again, that is soft versus tether. Moving on, we have Jasmine coin versus tether. This is on the 30-minute confirmation. Going to be targeting 0.00773. Going to shorten up this stop just a wee bit. All right, this is a 30-minute confirmation with a risk of 4.2. We've got an entry at 8.15. We got stop at 8.25. And we've got take profit at 7.73. Here's your next call. What we're doing here. Got lost. There we go. Got Jasmine versus tether. It's a 30-minute sell. Your entry price is 0.00815. Your stop loss is 0.00825 for 10 pips. And your take profit is 0.00773 for 42 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 4.20. Again, this is Jasmine coin versus tether. Okay, we're already in turbo. And next up, it looks like we're going to have Eden. So give me 1 sec here. I actually need to enter these trades myself. All right, first we've got turbo, and this is at 13.19. We've got soft at 15.90. And lastly, we have Jasmine at 773. All right, back to it. Now we have Edu. We're going to be targeting a sell to 0.1376. This is a 60-minute confirmation. We have a risk of 5.25. Got entry at 1675. We have stop at 1732. And we've got take profit at 1376. Enter this myself. Edu. And 1376. All right, next signal. We have Edu versus Tether on a 60-minute sell. Your entry price is 0.1675. Your stop loss is 0.1732 for 57 pips. Your take profit is 0.1376 for 299 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 5.25. Again, that is Edu versus Tether on a 60-minute confirmation. Next up, we have XCN versus Tether. This is on a 15-minute confirmation. We're targeting 0.00500177. CN, see 15-minute. We have a risk of 4.66. Our entry is going to be 54595. Our stop is going to be 55543. And our take profit is going to be 50177. Next call. We have XCN versus Tether, a 15-minute confirmation sell. The entry price is 0.0054595. Our stop loss is going to be 0.0055543 for 948 pips. And our take profit is going to be 0.0050177 for 4,418 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 4.66. Again, that is XCN versus Tether. Next up, we have IP versus Tether. This is another 15-minute confirmation sell. This time targeting 2.603. It's going to be another 15-minute confirmation. This time the risk is 3.61. We have entry at 2.877. We have stop loss at 2.953. And we have take profit at 2.603. So next call. We have IP versus Tether on a 15-minute sell. Your entry price is 2.877. Your stop loss is 2.953 for 76 pips. Your take profit is 2.603 for 274 pips. The risk reward ratio is 3.61. Again, this is IP versus Tether. Next up, we have Arty versus Tether. This time it's a sell targeting 4.131. This is going to be a 60-minute sell. The risk is 3.56. We have entry at 4.551. Got stop loss at 4.669. And we've got take profit at 4.131. Here's your next call. We've got Ordi versus Tether, 60-minute confirmation. The entry price is 4.551. Your stop loss is going to be 4.669 for 118 pips. Your take profit is going to be 4.131 for 420 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 3.56. Again, this is Ordi versus Tether. Next up, we have AXS versus Tether. We're actually already in that trade, so we're not going to recall it. We already called XCN. We have Sahara versus Tether that hit take profit for us. Congratulations on those that took that trade. We have Dusk versus Tether. I do not like this setup, and the reason being is that we have the 200 over the 50 EMA. That is gray, aqua, blue. That generally means consolidation. We look above current price, and we see a sell order block almost directly above price action. It's probably going to continue to sell off. So it's just as well to not enter a bad trade than to get into one that is going to be profitable. Next up, we have Uni versus Tether. Same setup. Gray, blue, aqua, above current price. You got a sell order block right here. It's unlikely to hit take profit. We will not be entering that trade. We already entered IP. We have XBG versus same setup. Gray over aqua. We look at our order blocks. It's possible that it may hit take profit, but this is resistant above current price. It's not a position we want to enter in. All right, we're already in Gun versus USDT. But this is a 1-hour confirmation. That'll mark itself off at 3 a.m. and it should give us a secondary entry on this pair. We'll keep that up. And we have 0G versus Tether. Again, a 15-minute confirmation. That'll mark itself off at 2:45 a.m. That is about 13 minutes and 20 some odd seconds from now. So with that, we're all caught up for the morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at news. So we just had major news on the release on consumer price index for the Great British Pound Sterling. It came in hot, which is great, which means we're going to have positive action on GBP pairs throughout most of the day. That's going to affect our trades on GBP versus Japanese yen, GBP versus Swedish krona, and GBP versus Norwegian krona. And we have our first day of meetings for the Federal Open Market Committee, the U.S. Federal Reserve. So we'll see what they end up coming out with the release of the Beige Book. Now, for all intents and purposes, if you haven't been living under a rock, this may be the first time in U.S. history that the central banking system for the United States has to make an interest rate decision without the benefit of having all of the government data, specifically the unemployment rate for the prior month. The Trump administration has said that they will not be able to release that information in time. That's the result of having 40 days of the people who make these reports not able to cobble together that data. And that does take about 2 to 3 weeks to do. It's a lot of information to distill. NVIDIA drops their earnings today, which is going to affect our New York session, particularly the opening of the NASDAQ 100 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and even the S&P 500. Now, the futures show that all of these are slightly positive. I can almost tell you right now that if NVIDIA does not come in hot, i.e. exceeding expectations, and probably by a sizable margin, it's going to take the markets simply because of the sheer size of their market capitalization. So we're going to be looking out for that. We may have sales on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ 100 shortly after 8:30 a.m. this morning if NVIDIA's earnings are suspected not to come in exceeding their forecast. For Europe, we have negative futures on the France 40, the UK 100, and the German 30. We have negative futures in the Japanese Nikkei 225, the Hong Kong 50, and the Asian 200. We have positive futures on Bitcoin, even though I don't expect that to hold. Slightly negative on Ripple, and positive on Ethereum and Solana. So, kind of a mixed picture today. There isn't a lot of major news that's going to move the market today. And I'm curious to see whether or not we get any surprises other than the announcement of NVIDIA earnings. All right, so for those of you new to the broadcast, we fall into a 15-minute pacing of opportunities to enter the market. We do also trade futures. So it's 2:35 a.m. right now. We get our opportunities to enter the futures market at 2:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's less than 5 minutes from now. And the market proper, which basically means everything else, at 2:45 a.m. sharp. So now we wait. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at what Bitcoin is doing. We're down 1,120 some odd points. We do have a retracement back up into the bottom of the Asian range. I believe that's going to continue to go south at this point. It rejected off of the order block at 90,100 with a bottom of 90,025.06 for today. And there is no Elliott wave. So provided we break this support, we've got to fall to 88,300. Yeah, it's just going to be in free fall. If it breaks 88,300, we're heading down to 86,400, which is a possible fall of 6,000 points today. The 2 hours already in free fall. And then the 4 hour, we have a significant order block at 89,200. We attempted to break that twice yesterday. That did not happen. I think we're probably going to have more momentum with it now. You can tell the downtrend is pretty strong if you look at the space between the exponential moving averages. So this is definitely just price dumping off. Now, we did have news about cash outflows And yeah, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, which is the largest in the world, record-setting outflows worth $521 million just yesterday. Yikes. All right, let's follow the money. Here's the market cap for the day. So Bitcoin is gaining a little bit of market cap. This is the top 100. But we're kind of interested in what's going on right now. You see money flowing into a ton of altcoins. This is an indication that people are selling Bitcoin, selling Ethereum, and selling other major coins to get profit maximization. Let's look at the day. As you can see, we've got STRK, which, by the way, we have a trade in, and we have MYX, which I believe we also have a trade in, that are leading the day in growth and market cap. We just took a trade on IP. We're in that. I see a few others. We have XTX. We have a trade there. Interesting stuff. And then for the week, you can see people are taking their cash out of cryptocurrency. Why? Because prices continue to fall. So they're taking their money out now, hoping to catch a better price in the market, and then they'll re-enter. But look what you see here. TEL is up 105% this week. STRK, which we just entered a trade in, is up 53.6% this week. Zcash, which is up 74% for the year, is up another 27.7% in market cap just this week. MYX, which we're also in a trade in, is up another 33.9% this week. This is where the money is going. It's the benefit of having cryptocurrency because you can follow the money and make your money that way. It literally is kind of foolproof. And then for the month, it gets even more telling. If you've been following the money for quite some time and you've been parking your money in Zcash, I mean, it's up quite a ways this month. Same thing with STRK and Dash. So if we were going to go take a look at STRK, for instance, just this week, it's up 60.97%. For the month, it's up 104.02%. You're not going to find these type of returns in a bank. Point blank, period. What about FIL? It's up 22.83% just this month. What about Zcash? Now, in the last 3 months, it's up 1,434%. For the month, it's up 154.19%. And just this week, it's up 35.13%. Year to date, it's up 964.79%. That is absurd. I remember when Zcash was below $200 around November of last year. So we got a ways to go before the altcoin season really starts, but it is starting in earnest. As Bitcoin continues to lose dominance, you're going to get this happening. So just basic theory on what's going on in terms of the market. Bitcoin declines in price. That's number one. Number two, you see a fall in Bitcoin dominance, particularly below 60%, and right now it's at 58.94%. In addition to that, you see an increase in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So a decline in Bitcoin price, a decline in Bitcoin dominance, an increase in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Why Ethereum? Ethereum is the number one cryptocurrency that's used as gas to purchase altcoins. So when you have those three factors together, a decline in Bitcoin price, a decline in Bitcoin dominance, and an increase in Ethereum versus Bitcoin, which means that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, the very next thing that always happens is a massive increase in altcoins. So we probably are going to see the altcoin season kind of increase in earnest once Bitcoin dominance falls closer to around 50% or so. That means there's an increase in the amount of money flowing through Ethereum and into altcoins. And you're going to start to see multipliers across the board. 10x's, 100x's, 1000x's. More of your obscure coins might even increase tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of percent. A good example of this would be Shiba Inu. I remember coaching at a trading session about 6 years ago. And at the time, I brought up Shiba Inu on the screen explaining the difference in market capitalization and how you didn't have to have a lot of money to invest in something quite small to make a significant difference if you understood the economic principle behind scarcity of assets. At the time, Shiba Inu was trading at 0.1017. It grew 16.805 million% over the next 6 years. All right, so it is now 2:46. Did not hear any dings, which means we don't have any calls yet for 2:45. We'll know for certain in about a minute and a half. If we don't get anything then our next opportunity to enter the market will be the futures market at 2:55 a.m. and the market proper at 3 a.m. sharp Central Standard Time. In the meantime, it does appear that we did hit a few take profits. The first being TIA versus Tether. In fact, we made 636.8% off of that trade. A nice brisk $2,388. And that is Celestia versus Tether. Let's go ahead and get that recorded. Two, 388. don't know if I can post a photo on here, but I'm sure going to try. I don't think I can. Nah, it won't let me do it. That's fine. Definitely an upgrade that LinkedIn needs to do is the ability to be able to post photos on a live. That's a little weird, but I'll post it as a post. And this is Celestia versus Tether. Yet another win. This time for $2,388. Congratulations in advance for those that took that trade. I'll take a look at it in a second to see when we took it. Here's for Twitter so you guys can take a look. And if you're on YouTube and you're interested in seeing the wins, if you go to my channel and click on post, you'll see all those different wins and the percentages for each win. Now, this was TIA versus Tether. TRA, boom. $174 pips. It's not bad. USTD. And that's going to be number 1,283 for us for the year. That brings us up to 5,256,019 pips for the year. There's your take profit smash there. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Stupid thing. All right, so there's our take profit smashed. That's TIA versus Tether, 474 pips. So get rid of this. And the next one that we hit looks like Sin versus Tether for 220 pips. Sorry, for $220. And this is Synapse versus Tether. Synapse versus Tether. And 220. And there's the announcement from LinkedIn. And the announcement for Twitter. And the announcement for YouTube. So we're up quite a ways this week. That is the 39th win for this week, and we are up $41,963.48 this week. That's provided you've taken every trade that we've called. Congratulations. Another stellar week. And we still got a few days left to go. All right, let's find SYN. SYN. That's for 26 pips. It's a pretty small trade, but hey, win is a win. All right, that's going to be win 1,284 for the year. And there's the announcement on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Profit smashed. All right, so I can take this down for now. Back to the action. Let's see where we are. Get rid of that. Still haven't moved much. We're down 1,500 points. Again, we hit an inflection point just below the Asian range for the prior day, where price is going ahead and reversing. So it'll take a while for this drop. But as you see, we have very weak support below current price. Any possible fall, if we follow the money and we break this level, it could be that we fall to about 85,700 today. So we did have an attempt to break this level yesterday. It hit 50% and bounced back. It's coming back with a vengeance now. Best case scenario, Nvidia earnings come in really bad or don't hit forecasts, which means people freak out and leave equities and precious metals and dump their money into cryptocurrency. Or we have a continued acceleration of cash outflows from Bitcoin ETFs because people don't really understand what's going on right now. When price declines, you always want to look for an opportunity to buy. When price increases, you always want to look for an opportunity to sell. You need cash in case something else gives you an opportunity to make more money. You never want your money sitting idle. And that is the number one mistake that most retail traders make. That's why they keep losing. And I'm certainly not an institution by any means. I'm a retail trader myself. But we win, and we win consistently. Okay, we've got a call on Zen versus Tether. This is a buy call on a 15-minute. Not going to be entering that. We have gray, aqua blue. That is significant resistance above current price. It's likely to continue selling off. All right, we do have the final mark off on Gun versus Tether. It's now 3 a.m. It looks like this is going to take us all the way to our take profit. So we'll go ahead and enter a secondary trade for this just to give people the opportunity to make some profit along with us. For those of us who have been in the trade already, we'll be targeting 0.01177. For those of you that are already in the trade, congratulations, you're up quite a ways already. Go ahead and book this secondary entry real quick. All right. And this is going to be Gun versus Tether, this time on a 60-minute confirmation sell. We got a risk of 3.3. We've got entry at 0.01276. We've got stop at 0.01306. And we've got take profit at 0.01177. It's going to be for 99 pips. All right, here's your call for LinkedIn. Call for Twitter. And your call for everyone else. We've got Gun versus Tether on a 60-minute sell. The entry price is 0.01276. Your stop loss is 0.01306 for 30 pips. Your take profit is 0.01177 for 99 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 3.30. Again, that is gun versus tether on a 60-minute sell. The original call, I believe, was on a 30-minute confirmation. And we're about 45% of the way to profit on that trade. So if you're doubling up, congratulations in advance. We have 0G versus tether. Actually, that's OG versus tether. We're going to target a sell to 13.473. Go ahead and hop in this real quick. $13.473 on a short. This is a 15-minute sell. The risk is 4.98. We've got an entry at 14.409. Got stop loss at 14.597. And we got take profit at 13.473. And the call for LinkedIn, the call for Twitter. Oops, hold on. There we go. And the call for everyone else. We have OG versus Tether, a 15-minute sell. Your entry price is 14.409. Your stop loss is 144.597 for 188 pips. Your take profit is 13.473 for 9 to 36 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 4.98. Again, this is OG versus Tether. Bitcoin. Now down another 300 points since we looked at it the last time, as price accelerates to the south. Let's check in to see if we made any other take profits. It does not appear that we did. Let's see, we've got 125 open positions as of right now. Which reminds me, you can take a look at that later. So 3:07 Central Standard Time, we've got possible calls on the futures market at 3:10 a.m. And we have our next calls for the market proper at 3:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am the Pit Messiah, your host for the Quiet Storm live trading sessions for London for November the 19th, 2025. If you're not already aware, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Kicked, LinkedIn, Apple TV, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We do go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time for the London session. And again, from 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the New York session. We also trade over the weekends. If you're interested in that, look at the description to this particular video. It's going to give you a link to my private trading group, Project Genesis. I'll post that in a second. And that's going to give you access to the calls on the crypto market, which is called 24/7. That market never closes. So yes, we make money every day if possible. There's the Telegram link to Project Genesis. Now, if you're on a computer, it's going to have you go to the website and enter your phone number. That's your two-factor authentication to make sure people don't have access to your account. That'll lead you directly to the group where you'll get the signals in live time. Also, announcements and news that's associated with the market as well. And in addition to that, if you're on a phone or a tablet, you need to click the link. It's going to have you download the app Telegram if you don't already have it. Again, you enter your phone number as two-factor authentication, and you're in the group. Nothing else you need to do. We do use a couple of different brokers. I use 4. I use Liquid Brokers. That's for most of the more meaty kind of crypto perpetual trades. I also use it for commodities, particularly precious metals, natural gas, and US and UK oil. We trade indices on there, US 30, NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, so on and so forth, and currencies, both major, minor, and exotic. So everything from your United States dollar, Japanese yen, to the euro versus the Czech dollar. You run the gambit there. The second broker is going to be LHFX. That one does not have crypto perpetuals. It does have superior leverage on your currencies. So if you're taking green and yellow trades, that's where to get those. We also have BTCC, which is the most recent addition to our brokers list. That's why I'm trading another 100 some odd crypto perpetual trades. And lastly, I have Top Step X. That's where I trade my futures from. They have 42 of them. It's quite lucrative for us since we've been doing it past few months or so. So there you have it. All 4 of these brokers allow you to easily put money in and easily take money out. BTCC has the added benefit of you not having to do KYC at all, which is wonderful. Keep your privacy 100%. Now, by now, it is now 3:12, which means we have no calls from the futures market. Do appear to have a little bit of retracement on price for about 100 points on Bitcoin, approaching 3:15 a.m. in the morning. Our next opportunity is to enter the market for buys or sells. So now we wait. Not to be remiss, but a hearty welcome to those of you joining us from Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand on NEMU TV. Also, those of you joining us in Europe, particularly Western Europe, on Kick and Twitch. It is literally the middle of the morning here in Houston, Texas, where I am, 3:13. Should be around 9:13 in the morning in London, and around 9:13 in the morning for the rest of Western Europe. So, good morning. And for Eastern Europe, you guys are probably in the next two time zones. So be just before lunchtime for you guys. And of course, it's likely the afternoon for all of Southeast Asia. All right, it's now 3:15 in the morning. Doesn't appear that we have any new calls just yet. We'll know for certain in about the next 2 minutes or so. If we don't receive anything for the 3:15 time frame, our next opportunity to enter the market will be at 3:25 a.m. for the futures market and 3:30 a.m. sharp at the middle of the hour for the market proper. Could be the things are quiet for the rest of our morning, which is fine. We go through the motion anyway. It always pays to be consistent. To give you guys an idea of what it looks like behind the hood, here's one of the screens I'm looking at. This is my broker for BTCC, where I'm trading crypto perpetual trades. Here we've got 82 open positions. These are all the trades in the way it looks. KSM USDT is the number one trade in terms of profit right now. It's up about $3,000. Currently sitting on around 688,000 in cash with a positive P&L of 4,700. So with that many positions open, that's not bad. It'll accelerate over time because the market's selling off. It was up about 30K when I looked at it before I went to sleep. but that's because the market has retraced since the end of the Asian session. So Bitcoin begins to drop, particularly south of $90,000. We'll start to hit take profits again and again and again. So when I'm calling off things that have hit take profit, normally in a broker, you see something called trade history. If you go here, it's going to show you all the different trades you have open. And as you scroll down, it begins to show you the trades that you win. So it will come out and it'll tell you the time that the position is closed, the time that you open the trade, the price you open the trade at, how much profit you made above and below, the spread from the broker, and it'll tell you your closing price and whether or not you paid any overnight fees. So for the entire week, my only losing trade, which it looks like it was on U.S. oil, was $254. Other than that, every other trade this week has been a win. I think that's the start of the week. First win was on AIXBT for $1,163. So we've been kicking butt consistently all week. And that's at the lowest leverage. I'm not overly aggressive with my position sizes. I believe in slow and steady wins the race. That's the way I've always traded. It's kind of like a ball rolling downhill. For those of you that hate math, I'll make it simple for you. Let's suppose you start a trading account with $500. Your goal is to grow that at 1% per day. So for the first day, you just want to make $5. There are 261 weekdays in a year. And granted, we trade every day because of the crypto market, but let's just suppose conservatively you didn't trade crypto. So you just have the 261 days. $500 growing every weekday for the entire year at 1%, which is very easy to do, is $6,478.43. Here's the multiplier here. So we're going to go ahead and dump that in. So I want you guys to see this. 6478.43 times 12.95686. That's 1.01 to the 261st power. 12.95686. At the end of year 2, you would have $83,940.11. At the end of year 3, you would have $1,087,600.26. Which means if you start with 500, you grow your account at 1% per weekday for just 3 years, you're already a millionaire. One 1% per day is not hard to do. It's actually very, very conservative. And you don't have to wait till take profit to do that. If you see the trade in blue and you've made your money for the day, close the trade and go enjoy your day. You're done. Rinse and repeat. The only thing that changes is the lot size that you take. Other than that, it's pressing a buy button or a sell button and entering the number for your take profit. Not rocket science. All right, we've got 6.5 minutes left to the middle of the hour. We're over 30 minutes left in the broadcast. And I hope you've been enjoying yourself. If you haven't already done so, we certainly appreciate your support. Drop me a follow. Like the video, turn on those notifications depending on what platform you're on so that you can keep abreast of when I do go live in the market. Love to see you back. Again, you can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, Apple TV, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, and Nemu TV. We go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2 a.m. Central Standard Time to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time for the London session, and from 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the New York session. About 4 minutes left to go. It's in the middle of the hour. I'm going to sleep like an absolute brick when I get in this bed. Need more rest before New York. All right, we've got dings. We've got a buy order on Dusk versus Tether. Let's take a look. That will mark itself off at 4 a.m. sharp. We will be taking that. This is precisely what we want to see on a buy order. We have aqua, gray, blue. This is an uptrend. We have a breakout to the bottom of the Asian range. Across of the 5 and 13 EMA with buyers in control of the market. What's likely to happen in the next 30 minutes is that price will retrace the current price and then go north. Sorry, didn't realize that LinkedIn was not muted. Did not want to have a double up of my voice. That is probably irritating to hear. All right. Don't know if we're going to get any other new signals here, but we're going to find out momentarily. Hmm. All right, just about 3 minutes to the next tick on the futures market. Futures market's not really moving tonight, so I doubt we're going to get anything for the London session. But in a perfect storm that we have missed earnings or that forecast is too close to actuals for NVIDIA, we're going to get some action on the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500, and maybe even the Russell 2000 for the New York session later today. Hey, 3:40 a.m. No immediate calls out of the futures market. Next ticker's at 3:45 a.m. for the market proper. minute left to go. Okay, no immediate signals. No, we get anything around 3:48 a.m. Takes about 3 minutes for TradingView to get through all the assets that we trade. We don't get anything. We'll come up on our last two tickers for the evening at 3:55 a.m. Central Standard Time for the futures market and 4 a.m. sharp Central Standard Time for the market proper. We do have one trade in queue for 4 a.m. It's going to be on dusk versus tethered on a buy. Kind of a pro tip if you're looking to do this on your own, or if you are trading on your own. Never enter on the same candle as your confirmation. About 85% of the time, what happens is that price goes the reverse of the direction that you plan on taking the trade, the candle after you find your confirmation. So we got our buy confirmation here. And over the next 30 minutes, price has declined in price. So price is coming back into price action, which gives us a better entry. So way to increase your wins to reward, and it makes it more difficult for you to hit stop loss by entering at a better trade entry. Another thing that's helpful is to know direction. You're looking at a chart and you see your exponential moving averages. The aqua line is the 50, the gray line is the 200, the blue line is the 800. What you're looking for is AGB, that's an uptrend, or BGA, that's a downtrend. So in this case, we have aqua, gray, and blue, AGB. This is an uptrend on the 30-minute on dusk versus tether. This works on any asset, on any time frame. If it's any other combination other than AGB or BGA, that means the trade is in consolidation. You just don't enter the trade. You trade with the trend. So ideally what you want to see on a buy setup is AGB, aqua, gray, and blue. And you want the 5 EMA, the yellow, to be over the 13 EMA, the red. That means the buyers have control of the market. Conversely, if you were looking at a sell, you want BGA, blue, gray, aqua, just in the reverse order of what you see here. And you will want the 13 EMA, the red line, to be over the 5 EMA, the yellow line. That would indicate that the sellers have control of the market. And of course, there's other things you can look at. People get fancy schmancy with it. I can too, but keep it simple. You want to be able to get in and out of trades quickly and not spend all day trying to determine whether it's a good trade to get into. And I've been trading for 12 years. I've probably taken close to 30,000 trades over that point in time. Once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. You just see it over and over and over again. The same type of patterns, same type of setups. You get comfortable with what works for you. When I first started trading, I was more of a swing trader. So I would only trade on the extreme high time frames. What that allowed me to do, because my skill wasn't as high back in the day, was to walk away from the charts and still be able to profit so long as I was patient enough to wait it out. I was still working full time at that point in accounting and finance, 70 hours a week. I did not have time to sit on the charts. But as my profit increased over time, it provided me with the opportunity to have time freedom. So now I've got three thriving businesses. I've got the trading that I do on top of it. Go from there. At this point, do I have to work? No, but I enjoy working, so I do. All right, one more ticker. Well, two more. We got the futures market coming in less than 3 minutes. Once I get this last signal out, provided we don't get anything new for 4 a.m., I am going to hibernate until I have to get up from New York. I can almost feel the blessed throes of that pillow right now. Right. About 1 minute to the next ticker on the futures market, 6 minutes to the top of the hour. And so as expected, nothing for the futures market ahead of New York. Now the march for our last ticker of the day at 4 a.m., the top of the hour. About 4 minutes. Good time to step away, grab a coffee, something to snack on if you need it. Come on back for this last signal, which will be dusk versus tether on a buy. Two minutes. There's something going on with USD versus JPY. Take profit smashed. We got a take profit on United States dollar versus Japanese yen for 57 pips. Congratulations on those of you that took it. This was from yesterday. Actually, this was from the other day. So not bad. That's for 57 pips. Win number 1,285 for us. It sounds like we have multiple ticks. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so that was take profit smashed on United States dollar versus Japanese yen. Again, congratulations to those who got it. We've got a short incoming on U.S. oil, but it's in an uptrend, so we won't be entering that. And we've got a 30-minute long on Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. We'll call that probably later on in New York. That's going to waffle now in consolidation. In the meantime, we got our buy on dusk. Let's go ahead and take that. It's going to be a buy from current price targeting 0.0722. We're short up that stop. And this is going to be a 30-minute buy. The risk to reward is going to be 3.17. Got an entry price at 0.0646. We got stop at 0.0622. And we've got take profit at 0.0722. And here's your last call of the night. It's going to be dusk versus tether. Thirty-minute confirmation buy. The entry price is 0.0646. The stop loss is going to be 0.0622 for 24 pips. The stop loss is going to be 0.0722 for 76 pips and a risk to reward ratio of 3.17. Again, as a reminder, if you have not already done so, like and subscribe. Appreciate to have your support. Love to see you back on the broadcast again. We'll be back later this morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for New York. We're live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. for London and for 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for New York. I am the Pit Messiah. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, Nemo TV, LinkedIn, Amazon TV, Apple TV, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. I'll see you guys in a few hours. Get some rest. Cheers.